Hey, what's up guys, Jakey here. Today we're going to be checking out the Rapoo VT7 Max wireless gaming mouse. Huge shout out to Rapoo for sponsoring this video and sending the VT7 Max over for me to check out. The VT7 Max is currently retailing for $60 USD on the Rapoo website, and you can get this in two different colorways, that being either white or black. Also, if you guys use my code Jakey at checkout, you can save an extra 20% as well, which brings the retail price of this mouse down to only $48 USD. This is a 53-gram mouse, and it does support up to 8,000 Hz polling rate without the need to buy a separate dongle, which is really nice. It is an included 8K dongle. It also has an 800 milliamp hour battery, and it is a symmetrical shape as well, but we'll get more into the shape later on in the video. So in the box, the first thing you are presented with is of course the mouse itself. Pretty nice looking mouse. You can see that you have very large feet on the bottom here. On the top and bottom you have the big feet, which I do prefer over smaller feet. It just gives you a little bit more friction on your mouse pad. If you are getting this mouse, make sure you do peel these stickers off the feet itself so that you get the optimal glide. Definitely don't make the mistake of leaving those on. On the bottom here, you also have a separate magnetic cover. This is where you can store the dongle in case you are traveling with the mouse, which is a pretty nice feature. If you're traveling with the mouse, you can pop your dongle in there and then you won't ever lose it. Kind of similar to what you see on some of the Logitech mice as well. In the accessories box here, you are going to be getting some extra PTFE skates. These are the same as the stock skates. They're just replacements, which is nice. And then you also get some grip tape here as well, just in case the coating isn't grippy enough for your hands. You can pop these grip tapes on for some extra grip. And of course, you also get a user manual as well. What's cool about the VT7 Max is that it comes with a dongle that actually has an LED on it, and that will tell you the battery life on your mouse, which is great because at a glance you can see whether or not your mouse needs charging. This is really convenient. The Viper V3 Pro dongle has this feature as well, and I actually find myself using it quite a bit. The cable here is also really solid. It's just your typical USB-C to USB-A cable, and it is braided, and it does feel like a very high quality cable. And of course, you're also going to be getting your 8,000 Hz polling rate wireless dongle right here, which is included in that $60 price tag, which is really nice to see. And on the bottom of the dongle, you do have rubber to make sure it doesn't slip off of your desk. Touching on the build quality of the VT7 Max really quickly here, squeezing on the side walls doesn't have any noticeable bending, and also shaking it doesn't have any rattling either, which is nice to see. Overall, it feels like a very solidly built mouse, and it doesn't feel cheap in the hand either, so overall a pretty solid build quality here. And as you can see, when plugging the dongle in here, it will flash a little bit as it's connecting to the mouse. And once it has a solid connection, it has this green LED here. Again, by default, you can just glance at the dongle to see how much battery life is left in the mouse. And the clicks on the VT7 Max are really nice as well. These do use Rapoo's optical switches on the main clicks, and the side clicks as well are super crispy, not too much pre-travel or post-travel. Here's a quick sound test of the buttons on the VT7 Max. Alright, now let's go over the actual shape here. To preface, my hand size is 19 centimeters by 10 centimeters, and I personally use a claw grip. So when I first put my hand on the VT7 Max, I was actually surprised at how similar it is to the feeling of my Viper V3 Pro. And you can see this on Elo shapes as well. If we pull up the size comparison here, you can see that the VT7 Max and the Viper V3 Pro are pretty much identical. Not only are they pretty much the same in terms of the size and shape, but the weight is also very similar as well, with the VT7 Max coming in at 53 grams and the Viper V3 Pro coming in at 54 grams. So yeah, that's pretty much the best way I can describe the shape. It's very similar to the Viper V3 Pro. And for me, that's a good thing because I do like the Viper V3 Pro shape. It's been my main mouse now for a couple months. I would say this definitely is a medium to large mouse, and it's best used for a claw grip and fingertip. I wouldn't really recommend using this shape for a palm grip unless you have really small hands. But in my opinion, I always like to recommend ergonomic mice for palm grippers. So stuff like the Razer Death Adder, the Lamzu Thorn, or something like the Logitech G703. But yeah, overall, really no complaints about the shape. It's very solid and something that I can perform really well on. The coating here on the mouse is solid as well. They don't have the rubberized coating that you would find on something like the Lamzu mice or the Endgame Gear mice, but they do use sort of like that plastic chalk coating that you'll find on the Logitech G Pro Superlight or the Viper V3 Pro. So very standard coating that you would find on a typical mouse, and it performs really well for me personally. I have moist hands when I play. If you have super dry hands, you might find them a little bit slippery, but in that case, you can just throw on the provided grip tapes and you're good to go. Alright guys, now let's go over the software. The software for the VT7 Max does support Rapoo's web-based software, which is great. So yeah, after you go here, you can just connect your mouse and then we can go straight in. On the first tab here, you can change all of your DPI settings. As you can see, you can choose between different DPIs. You can also delete DPIs that you don't use, and there's a slider here to change as well. You can also change the X and Y axis independently if you want to do that. For me personally, I play on 1600 DPI. Moving over to the second tab, this is where you can remap all of the keys. So these top two buttons by default is to change your DPI, but if you don't want to hit them accidentally, you can also just disable them outright or use them for something else. And you can also create macros here as well, which is great if you like to use macros. Moving on to the third tab, this is your performance tab. So in here, you can change the performance. You either have the maximum performance all the time, which is going to lower your battery life. As you can see here, it kind of tells you how much you're going to get depending on which mode you use. And then you also just have presets here as well that you can choose from. And it changes the battery life estimate as you change these settings, which is pretty cool actually. But obviously you're going to want to take this with a grain of salt because it's probably not completely accurate. But for polling rate, I always recommend using a max of 2000. Anything above 2000 polling rate is negligible and pretty much useless. On the fourth tab here, you can turn on and off motion sync. I always leave motion sync on. You can also change the liftoff distance here as well. You have these two, which I'm just going to leave off because I'm not really sure what they do. And then down here, you also have this glass tracking technology, but I will just turn it on because I am on glass. And then for the debounce delay here, you can change this as well. I always recommend going to the lowest possible. And if you experience any double clicking, you can raise this accordingly. And I'm not going to mess with the sensor angle here at all either, but there is a lot of different settings here for you to really dial in and fine tune. Okay, moving on to the last tab. This is just where you update your firmware if there's any firmware updates. And you can also turn on and off the low battery warning on the dongle and of course the sleep time as well. So yeah, that's the software. A lot of different settings for you to really fine tune. And it's also web-based, which is really solid. So really no complaints here about the software. So yeah, overall the VT7 Max is a super solid mouse, especially if you're on a budget. For $60 USD, you're really getting a lot out of this mouse. Not only are you getting that 8000 Hz polling rate included, so you don't have to buy a separate dongle like some other mouse companies force you to if you want that high polling rate, but you are also getting super good performance here as well and a really solid shape. You really can't go wrong with the Viper V3 Pro shape. It is extremely popular, and I imagine a lot of people will be comfortable on it. But yeah guys, if you are interested in checking out the VT7 Max, I will leave a link to it in the description below. But that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.